They ruled a world without mercy. Predators stalked from the shadows, armored giants crushed bones with a single swing, and the rivers hid monsters as deadly as any land hunter. Today, we count down the 8 scariest dinosaurs that ever walked the earth. Which one would you least want to meet face to face? Tyrannosaurus rex. The Cretaceous period's apex predator, Tyrannosaurus rex, needs no introduction. At up to 40 feet long and weighing around 9 tons, it was nature's perfect killing machine. Its banana-shaped teeth, some over 12 inches long, could crush bone like it was soft fruit. Paleontologists estimate a bite force of over 12,000 pounds, roughly the weight of 3 cars pressing down on a single point. Its muscular tail acted like a counterbalance, letting it lunge forward with terrifying precision. Though it likely topped out at 20 miles per hour, if you saw one coming, speed wouldn't save you. Its sheer size meant nowhere was safe. The roar, if it had one, might have carried for miles, a sound that would have frozen prey in place before the chase even began. But here's the nightmare fuel. Did it hunt alone, or did it ambush with backup? Fossil sites with multiple T-Rex skeletons suggest the possibility of group behavior. Imagine running from one, only to find another blocking your escape. Whether solitary assassin or team hunter, the king of the tyrant lizards was more than just famous. It was a walking extinction event. Spinosaurus, bigger than T-Rex, more versatile than any land predator. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus stretched over 45 feet long, with a crocodile-like skull packed full of conical teeth. It hunted both land and water, and new fossil evidence suggests it was an excellent swimmer, complete with a long, paddle-like tail and dense bones for underwater stability. Its iconic sail, towering over its back, may have been used for display, temperature regulation, or intimidation. But it wasn't just a showpiece. Imagine a looming shadow gliding toward you through murky water, the sail cutting through the surface like a dorsal fin. Prey had nowhere to hide. On land, it could lunge forward. In rivers, it was even faster. Spinosaurus likely feasted on giant fish like sawfish and lungfish, but that didn't stop it from tackling rival predators. Fossils hint at violent clashes between Spinosaurus and other carnivores, leaving deep gouges in bone. If the T-Rex ruled the land, Spinosaurus ruled a domain far more treacherous, the waters, where death could come without a sound. 6th, Velociraptor. At just 3 feet tall and about the size of a turkey, Velociraptor mongoliensis might seem unimpressive until you consider its speed, cunning, and weaponry. It carried a retractable, sickle-shaped claw on each hind foot, over 2.5 inches long, capable of slashing deep into flesh. These predators didn't rely on brute strength. They hunted with precision and teamwork. Evidence from fossilized fighting dinosaurs shows velociraptors leaping onto prey, pinning them, and using those claws to deliver lethal blows. They may have been covered in feathers, which would have made them even faster and more maneuverable. Picture a pack of feathered assassins, darting between cover, surrounding their target. The real terror? They were likely intelligent for their size, using vocalizations and coordination to hunt in groups. One could distract while another flanked you. Even if you outran one, you'd never hear the others until it was too late. Hollywood exaggerated their size, but the truth is, they didn't need to be giants to be deadly. Giganotosaurus. In the pantheon of prehistoric predators, Giganotosaurus carolini stands as one of the true giants. Measuring between 43 and 47 feet in length and weighing over 8 tons, this giant southern lizard was among the largest carnivorous dinosaurs ever to walk the earth, possibly even edging out T-Rex in sheer size. It prowled what is now South America during the late Cretaceous, sharing its domain with some of the largest herbivores in history, such as Argentinosaurus, a behemoth that could top 70 tons. Bringing down prey of that magnitude demanded more than brute strength. It required speed, coordination, and precision. Giganotosaurus's teeth, serrated like industrial steak knives, were designed for tearing through thick hides and muscle. Each could exceed 8 inches in length, capable of opening deep, bleeding wounds that would weaken even the largest giants over time. Its skull was an immense weapon, longer than the average adult human is tall, giving it a deadly reach in battle. Despite its bulk, estimates suggest Giganotosaurus could reach speeds up to 30 miles per hour. Imagine a creature the size of a bus thundering toward you, keeping pace with a city car, claws ready to rake and jaws prepared to slice. While it may not have matched T-Rex's bone-crushing bite force, its strategy relied on inflicting repeated slashing injuries, slowly wearing down its prey until collapse was inevitable. In the prehistoric plains of Patagonia, spotting that massive silhouette on the horizon meant only one thing: you were already living on borrowed time. Against Giganotosaurus, there was no hiding, no outrunning, only the brief, desperate hope that it might choose another target. Carcharodontosaurus. Named for its fearsome, serrated teeth resembling those of a great white shark, Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was one of Africa's most formidable apex predators. Stretching up to 44 feet in length and weighing several tons, it rivaled even Giganotosaurus in size. But its true horror lay in its jaws, over 5 feet long and packed with 6-inch knife-edge teeth designed to slice through flesh like a blade through fabric. These were not bone crushers like T-Rex teeth. They were precision tools for carving deep, devastating wounds. Fossil evidence suggests Carcharodontosaurus hunted colossal sauropods, tearing huge strips of meat from their flanks. It likely competed with other giants, including Spinosaurus, for control of Africa's prehistoric waterways and plains. Some paleontologists believe it may have hunted in coordinated groups, turning an already dangerous predator into an unstoppable force. Imagine several of these monsters working together, one charging head-on while others flanked the sides, cutting off escape. In the ancient Sahara, survival meant staying unseen. If a shadow of Carcharodontosaurus appeared on the horizon, the outcome was almost certain. It wasn't just a hunter, it was a living executioner, a nightmare that could strike from any direction. Third Allosaurus. Long before the reign of Tyrannosaurus rex, the late Jurassic was ruled by another apex predator, Allosaurus fragilis. Stretching up to 30 feet in length and weighing as much as 2 tons, it might not have matched the bulk of later carnivores, but make no mistake, Allosaurus was the nightmare of its era. Its most distinctive weapon was its skull and jaws. Unlike the bone-crushing bite of T-Rex, Allosaurus used a hatchet technique. Its powerful neck muscles could swing its head downward, driving its serrated blade-like teeth into prey, then pulling back to tear massive chunks of flesh. Instead of relying on a single killing blow, it would deliver multiple rapid, deep slashes, death by 1,000 cuts. But what elevated Allosaurus from dangerous to terrifying was its hunting strategy. Fossil evidence, trackways, bite marks, and bone beds suggests that Allosaurus may have been a cooperative hunter. Picture this. A massive herd of Diplodocus is grazing peacefully. Then, from the tree line, a coordinated pack of allosaurs emerges. They don't rush in recklessly. Instead, they surround their chosen target, darting forward in quick bursts to deliver a bite, then retreating before the giant sauropod's tail could strike. Over minutes or hours, these repeated hit-and-run attacks would weaken the prey. Blood loss, shock, and fatigue would gradually tip the balance. By the time the final assault came, the prey would already be on the brink of collapse. Speed and agility were key to this strategy. Despite their size, allosaurs could sprint at impressive speeds for short bursts, weaving through dense forest or open plains. Their muscular tails acted as counterbalances, allowing tight turns that heavier predators might struggle to manage. Even more chilling was their adaptability. A solitary predator has only its own instincts to rely on, but a pack could read each other's movements, change tactics mid-hunt, and exploit any mistake their prey made. If a target stumbled, the nearest allosaur would close in instantly. Facing one Allosaurus was dangerous. Facing several, working in perfect coordination, was almost certain death. In the late Jurassic, these predators reigned supreme, not because of sheer size or strength, but because they turned hunting into a deadly team sport. In a prehistoric world full of dangers, the pack-hunting Allosaurus was the last thing any herbivore wanted to see on the horizon. Second, Utahraptor. If the velociraptor was a surgical blade, precise, small, and deadly, the Utahraptor ostromasorum was a two-handed broadsword, swinging with sheer brute force. Towering over its smaller cousin, Utahraptor was the largest known member of the raptor family, stretching up to 23 feet from snout to tail, and tipping the scales at more than 1,100 pounds. This wasn't just a predator. It was a walking nightmare. Its trademark weapons were its claws, wickedly curved talons on each hind foot, reaching up to 9 inches long. Longer than most human hands, they were built like nature's scythes, designed to slash deep and rip through flesh with terrifying efficiency. A single kick from a Utah raptor could open up wounds so severe that prey would be bleeding out in moments. But raw power wasn't its only advantage. Despite its massive size, Utah raptor's body was built for agility. Strong, muscular legs gave it the ability to leap with shocking speed and precision. Imagine a 1,000-pound predator suddenly launching itself from a rocky ledge, slamming into your side with claws first. That moment of impact alone could be fatal. And if it wasn't, the follow-up slashes certainly would be. Some paleontologists believe Utah raptors didn't always hunt alone. Evidence from fossil sites suggests they may have moved in coordinated packs, each member working to corner and overpower even the largest herbivores. One Utah raptor was already a deadly opponent, but a coordinated group could take down prey far larger than themselves, from heavily muscled hadrosaurs to even smaller armored dinosaurs. Armor didn't guarantee safety. Ankylosaurs and other plated giants had weak spots, underbellies, joints, and necks that Utah raptors' long claws could target with brutal precision. Once latched on, it could cling like a living vice, tearing and slashing until its prey collapsed from blood loss or exhaustion. And then, there's the thought that chills the spine. What if Utah raptors could ambush from above? Strong claws might not only kill, but also grip trees and ledges. Imagine moving through the prehistoric forest, only to have a massive shadow drop from the canopy, claws extended. If the velociraptor was the silent assassin of the dinosaur kingdom, the Utah raptor was the executioner. Larger, stronger, and equally cunning. Against this predator, running might only delay the inevitable. First, Ankylosaurus. When you think of terrifying dinosaurs, your mind might go straight to razor-toothed carnivores. But in the prehistoric world, sometimes the scariest thing you could face wasn't a hunter at all. Enter Ankylosaurus magniventris, a plant-eating tank on legs that could turn even the deadliest predator into a pile of shattered bones. Stretching up to 25 feet long and weighing nearly 8 tons, Ankylosaurus was the ultimate fortress on 4 legs. Its entire back was covered in massive, fused bony plates called osteoderms, natural armor so tough it could withstand the bone-crushing bite of a Tyrannosaurus rex. These plates were arranged like interlocking shields, each one capable of absorbing and dispersing tremendous force. Even its head was protected by a skull reinforced with thick bone, and its eyelids had their own armor plating. But its most feared feature was its tail, a muscular, flexible weapon tipped with a massive bony club. Imagine a medieval mace, except this one was alive, and it could swing with bone-shattering speed. Tests on fossil reconstructions suggest a single blow from that tail could deliver enough force to break the leg of a large predator, or even crush a skull outright. Paleontologists have found fossil evidence of theropod bones bearing deep, crushing fractures that perfectly match the shape of Ankylosaurus's tail club. This wasn't an animal that fled from danger. If a predator got too close, Ankylosaurus could pivot with shocking agility for its size, swinging its tail in a wide arc. A single misjudged attack from a T-Rex could end with a shattered jaw or broken ribs, injuries that would have spelled death in the wild. And here's the real nightmare for any predator. Ankylosaurus didn't need to win the fight to survive. It only needed to injure its attacker badly enough to make it retreat. Against such defenses, even the hungriest carnivore might think twice. In the dangerous tooth and claw world of the late Cretaceous, Ankylosaurus flipped the script. While most herbivores relied on speed or size to escape, this one stood its ground, daring predators to come closer. It was the immovable object in a world full of unstoppable forces, and more often than not, it came out on top. So, which would you least want chasing you? The relentless T-Rex, the unstoppable Utah raptor, or the unbreakable Ankylosaurus? Size, speed, armor, intelligence, each of these dinosaurs had their own brand of terror. One thing's certain, in the age of dinosaurs, fear had many faces, and all of them had teeth. If you enjoyed this journey into prehistoric nightmares, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories from Earth's untamed past. Which dinosaur gave you chills? Tell us in the comments.